It's 4 a.m. and you're up before the sun rises. You get dressed, maybe grab some breakfast, and grab your gear. You wait until one of your parents drives you to the rink, or maybe you're carpooling with a teammate. You're half asleep when you're on the ice, but your body remembers, and you glide about in the cold air before practice starts. It's the same routine every morning, nearly 365 days a year. Now, imagine doing that for 10 years. If you can picture it, then you get a rough idea of what Tillie Walden did almost every day in her memoir, Spinning.
Spinning is a graphic novel memoir written and illustrated by Tillie Walden. Around 400 pages and released in 2017 by First Second, this coming-of-age narrative chronicles Walden's life for the 10 to 12 years that she focused on competitive figure skating. We follow Walden as she moves from New Jersey to Austin, Texas, and get an insider's perspective into the competitive figure skating lifestyle. In addition, we also see pressures of growing up, like school, dating, and also dealing with tragic experiences, like assault, accidents, and coming out to an unsupportive family. A former teenage athlete myself, what I liked about this memoir the most was how it highlighted the grueling expectations that competitive sports may have on young adults, while still focusing on Walden and her interesting narrative. Many readers can relate to trying to meet expectations from others, like their coaches or their parents, while still trying to battle with the expectations that they have for themselves. Walden's narrative is beautifully illustrated with her art, her color choices, and her simple but straightforward art style. On page 112, Walden uses a lot of dialogue in minimal panels, giving the reader a crash course in what a figure skating competition is like, while still managing to convey emotion through the remaining 2 panels. Focusing on details like a scrunchie, some gum or candy, and notebooks instead of her own competition highlights the familiarity, and dare I say it, the monotony of the competitive sport. However, when paired with a later page, we get a sharper insight into Walden's mental state and self-image. We're at a competition, the same monotonous event that she described as frantic and boring at the same time. But instead of focusing on the competition, Walden has to focus on herself and how there's a disconnect between what she's doing and how she feels. There are no words, just a single image of something familiar, yet not familiar at the same time. It is complicated to emphasize this shift in prose. With the limited color scheme and inclusion or exclusion of narration, the reader has a more in-depth opportunity to experience Walden's change in losing and recovering her identity. If you like the art, tone, and coming-of-age narrative in the graphic novel This One Summer by Mariko Tamaki and illustrated by Jillian Tamaki, or were intrigued by the focus on grief, trauma, and relationships in Tillie Walden's Are You Listening?, then you should definitely check out Walden's memoir. The overarching theme of acceptance, that sometimes things don't always work out the way you expect, is one of the most important lessons that a young reader can take from this graphic novel memoir. Things don't always work out for Walden because it's real life and focuses on real people. In the end, being able to come to terms with the fact that things don't always work out how you expect, but still managing to overcome those expectations, is one of the most important things that a young reader can take away from this novel. Walden captures the emotions, struggles, and trials that feels like for any reader, and honestly gives the reader an opportunity to find kinship with her and her experiences. Check this book out at your local library or wherever books are sold.